Hello YouTube, it's Bobby 3 back another kicking graphic novel review. Today we are looking at The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5 Behind the Scenes by Nick Spencer. Yes, I figured it was about time I finally finished reviewing the Nick Spencer Spider-Man run. A run that I'm a pretty big fan of, to be completely honest. There's some things about the ending that I don't really like, to be honest, but oh well. I still think it's a really good run. A lot of good art and story. A lot of art from some of the same people that drew Invincible. You know, you got like Ryan Ottley and Kev Walker. And I have reviewed all of Invincible. Not the whole Invincible universe, but I've reviewed all of the main Invincible title if you want to check that out. But let's get into it. Who is the bandaged figure in every shadow, and what does he want with Spider-Man? Prepare to have your questions answered. Spider-Man and Mary Jane have found themselves in an incredibly tough situation. Thanks to Electro. Can Spidey save MJ? Can MJ save Spidey? And what is Mysterio cooking up? And what does it have to do with that mystery man mentioned earlier? The influence of Peter Parker's roommate, Boomerang, is finally felt when Spidey joins the superior foes. But wait, aren't they the superior foes of Spider-Man? No time to debate that, because here come the new Sinister Syndicate: Beetle, Electro, Lady Octopus, Scorpia, and White Rabbit. They've come together for one reason: to hunt Boomerang. Prepare for more amazing action as Nick Spencer's run continues. Rated T for Teen from Marvel Comics, collecting The Amazing Spider-Man 2018, numbers 24 through 28, by Nick Spencer, Zeb Wells, Keaton Patty, Ryan Ottley, oh, excuse me. Humberto Ramos? Is that right? Patrick Gleason, Kev Walker, Todd Narek, Dan Hipp, Cliff Rathburn, Mark Morales, Victor Olsba, Dexter Vines, John Dell, Nathan Fairburn, Edgar Delgo, Dave Stewart, Laura Martin, Andrew Crossfly, and Rochelle Rosenberg. Yes, it's a pretty good book. Let's go ahead and get into it. You know, we got Peter and MJ having a date, talking about shit. You know, we also have Mysterio in this kind of therapy session, but the therapy session is not really with him. That doesn't make sense. Mysterio's therapy session is kind of with Mysterio, a character of himself. So there's this therapist that Mysterio used to pretend to be, and that is the therapist giving Mysterio therapy, which is odd. But then our big villain of the run shows up. Pretty cool. Kindred, who has an amazing design and is like this centipede demon. Sometimes the centipedes look more like millipedes. Of course, centipedes and millipedes would make sense, because centipedes are like these horrific venomous predators, and millipedes are detritivores that eat the dead, which would also make sense for Kindred, because Kindred is supposed to be a demon from hell. But I think in actuality they're supposed to be centipedes. Sometimes they're not drawn with their toxicognaths, and the legs per segment also decides if something's a centipede or a millipede. But Kindred keeps giving Peter Parker these bad dreams, because Peter and Spidey are one and the same to Kindred. Kindred knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they know that Mysterio is playing the therapy game again, trying to get out of stuff, but Mysterio is alive because of Kindred. Right. Spider-Man is fighting these bots to get to the Lizard, because after the whole Kraven incident, which I kind of maintain is still the best part of this run, the best volume in this run is the one of Kraven, which I think is volume 3? 4? Maybe it's volume 4? Could be the one right before this one. I don't remember. Oops, sorry. He's trying to get Kirk Connors out of this, like, holding cell he's put himself in. And we also have Electro show up. This is the new Electro, and she takes an actress hostage, and is doing this live stream where it's like, hey, I have 2 funds going. one is for the actress lives, one is for the actress dies. Whichever gets more decides what happens to her. And people donate to have this actress murdered on the internet, which is kind of insane. Of course, I'm sure they're all getting a visit from the FBI. Anyhow, the stuff with Kirk Connors is settled. Peter goes back to college, which is kind of nice, and Mysterio gets a movie deal. And honestly, I'd watch a movie made by Mysterio. But after, because, practical effects are my thing, but, after Elektra is captured, she is freed by the Syndicate, or the Sinister Syndicate, whatever you want to call them, which is kind of basically an all-gal Sinister Six, run by the Beetle, who's Tombstone's daughter. And she is my favorite Beetle out of the few we've had. And she is kind of walking the line of legal ambiguity. She's using loopholes to kind of get out of being charged criminally, and has this whole kind of forward-thinking company thing going on with her Sinister Six, which is very interesting. And Spider-Man 2099 shows up, and Peter works with Jonah because there's these chromatic alien things in his apartment. And we get a little help from Doctor Strange, plus a cutesy Spider-Man comic that it says we forced a bot to read every Spider-Man comic and then asked it to make its own Spider-Man comic. This is what it created. But I mean, a bot didn't do this. It's clearly just a joke. A bot didn't write this. Just like most of the memes that say that. I mean, now they might be real, but they weren't before. Anyhow, the Kingpin is looking for all these pieces of this big magical tablet that Boomerang is also looking for. And Boomerang seems to have a bit of a connection to them. So when he's captured by the Beetle and whatnot, which also kind of destroys the Feast Center that Aunt May is trying to rebuild, Spider-Man has to go save him, but also, oddly enough, this destruction of the Feast Center is kind of what ends up saving it, because the Beetle is a lawyer, and her boyfriend works there, and she felt bad about destroying it, so, she donates a lot to it, and also helps get their legal paperwork pushed through. Pretty cool. But yeah, Spider-Man's roommate is dating the Beetle, and he's trying to keep it secret from everyone, but Peter knows because he was tracking the Beetle and found her with him. Anyway, we get a lot of Mayor Fisk stuff, Boomerang being quote-unquote redeemed and whatnot, and it's a fun read. It's a fun read with good art, and I really enjoy it. So that's it for The Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Volume 5, Behind the Scenes. I know that was kind of quick rundown, real kind of simplified rundown, but I don't want to give you every little detail and stuff. I want to leave enough for you to be able to read the comic yourselves, and also, it's just about time I got through this whole run, and I have so many episodes ready to go, and I got to get through them all. So that is it. Thank you once again for your support, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.